Now then, how are you doing? I haven't done a video in a while, so thought I'd do a quick one this morning while I have a minute. So a couple of questions that have come in. Why women, basically it's women who are scared to eat because they'll get fat, and women that are scared to weight train because they think they're going to get bulky. So neither of them will happen. Obviously, you will get fat if you overeat and don't expend it, but as long as you're training hard, which a lot of the women that I coach, they get in the gym, 4 or 5 times a week, and the weight training, and then they're getting over 10,000 steps in a day. So it does allow for a few more calories than the average person. You've got to remember that expenditure, and that is essential. So I think as long as you're ticking all the boxes, I'm not saying you don't have to be strict with your diet. It's essential that we know where you're at, what you're eating. But I think it definitely 100% gives you more leeway with it. I would always try get my clients to a lean state, and then I will slowly push the calories up till we get to a maintenance. Now, the only things that kind of stop this process is if, for argument's sake, someone has they get to a weekend and they have a 3-day binge, because then we're never having a consistent amount. What I'll tend to do is put, say, they might have 5 days at 2,000 calories, and then they might have an off-plan meal on a Saturday, and then they go back to the normal 2,000 one, and then we'll average it out over the week. I'll always advocate an off-plan meal, because unless, as I've said before, unless you're competitive in a sport or whatnot, there's no need to really not have that little bit of social aspect, because I get it. I know there's a lot of PTs out there that live these lives where they don't cheat and they don't do anything outside the gym, and that's just not me at all. And I like that. I love a client that comes that's honest to me and says, look, Chris, Monday to Friday I'm your bitch. When it gets to Friday at 5 o'clock, you can fuck right off until Monday morning. I'd rather hear that rather than someone hide it and say, oh, I'm adhering to your diet perfectly, and nothing's changing. Obviously it's going to slow the process down. I'm not saying that. But I'd rather that honesty be there, and I'd rather that person be having a life. So a lot of the time it's looking for ways of creating a normal life but still achieving those goals. So for argument's sake, a couple of my clients, they've done really well. They've lost loads of weight between them. They look absolutely great. Two girls. What I've said to them this week is, we've got an option. We can either start bumping the calories up slowly, so that we're up. I mean, they're on quite a lot of calories as it is, and that's a fat loss period. But the 3 options are basically, let's either push the calories up slowly, the daily calories, and get them up to a certain amount, or they're having currently 1 off-plan meal a week. So I said, why don't you allow yourself a treat midweek? So on a Wednesday, say for argument's sake, when you're at that stage, we all know it, when it gets to Wednesday, Thursday, and we're either thinking, God, I could kill a beer, or I could murder a pizza, or what have you, or a bit of chocolate. So what I've said is that on a Wednesday now, they adhere to the diet Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday they adhere to the diet all day, and then on Wednesday night they have a little treat of the choice. So either, for argument's sake, it could be anything: tin of beer, it could be a chocolate bar, it could be a slice or 2 of pizza, but they have that little option of the treat. So that's what we've decided to go ahead with. So we've got those calories to a nice playing field, nice level, and now we're introducing more social time rather than titting about with the diet. Now, the reason that I've chose to do this is because both the girls' energy levels are great on the calories that they're at the minute. They can't believe how good their energy levels are, so they're not struggling, they're not bored of the diet. So rather than bumping those calories up, let's try create a social life, and that's the freedom that we've got with it once we've got to that stage. But the main thing is adhering to it. You know, if you do adhere to the diet in the first place, and we get you to a set point, that's when we can start titting about with the calories and whatnot, and being a bit more flexible with it. So a lot of the time it can seem like not doing enough with the diet, but I like, once we've set it and once the ball's rolling and weight's either coming off or whatnot, we'll keep the calories there and until we plateau at that, you know, and I'll never change anything unless it's not working. But in terms of the inside, you know, I know all of the bodybuilding girls that I know and speak to, every single one of them, and this is a huge trend with every single one of them. They all eat 4 to 6 meals a day, no problem. They all eat a lot of protein. This is one of the things that I think that a lot of women scrimp on, protein intake. They all eat protein with every meal. I would say I don't know one of them that will go under 2,000 calories a day. Certainly in the normal phases. Maybe when they dieting for a show or whatnot at the real last stages of it, they might drop it. But do you know what? That goes back to that. Are you training for a show, or are you just training to look good? Because a lot of people would be happy with how these guys look going into the prep. So that's what you've got to consider. You can't always live like this, none, because all you're doing is setting yourself up to failure. You know, if I say to you, right, you've got to eat chicken and rice now for 8 weeks, and that's it. There's no way you're going to achieve it. What's the real reason why you're doing that? Because why would you want to live like that? So, yeah. In terms of the eating, and I know that I've gone off on a bit of a tangent, as I do. In terms of the eating and getting scared of getting fat, that my biggest advice for that is get check-in photos across, because what you'll notice is that if you've got someone that you are accountable to every week, it'll take the onus off you. Because, for argument's sake, my clients, if they say to me, "Are you sure that I'm not getting fat?" Oh yeah. I'm really going to want my clients sending me check-in photos that I'm putting as my marketing, getting fatter and fatter and fatter. It's just not. If you think about it logically, that's not what I'm going to do, because it's my market. So I'm going to be brutally honest with you, and I'll make changes when needed. So that gives you that accountability. So yeah, that allows us to adjust things. I think that the biggest thing of gaining weight really certainly in this modern era is going too low on your calories Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday, and then absolutely binging on a Saturday. You know, these stupid 5, 6, 7,000 calorie binges that are just undoing all the work. When you hear that statement that people say, they go, "I don't think I eat enough." Well, if you're not losing weight, that's not right. You know, that is not correct. Your expenditure and your energy balance has not worked out correctly. That's what's wrong. And I guarantee that these people are the ones that are on these 600 to 800 calorie diets Monday to Friday, and as I say, then getting a Friday night and going boom and just smashing the shit out of food, everything that they've been craving. I'm definitely an advocate of including a little bit of your cravings in your normal diet, and I think that massively helps. In terms of weight training, I won't spend too much time on this, but it is physically impossible unless you are a performance enhanced athlete as a woman to lift weights and get bulky. Women have a lot less testosterone than men, so even though I do get them to train pretty much the same way as the men and heavy and whatnot, they don't get bulky, and they're never going to get bulky. You're going to get that nice tone, and that is down to the testosterone production. So even if you really, really overeat, you're going to find it hard push to get, as you say, bulky. And the way that I'll say that is, have a look at these like CrossFitters, for argument's sake. Have a look at bikini models and stuff like that. They all weight train, and they all train fucking heavy. You know, I know guys up at Body Station, a lot of the girls are heavier than the lads. It's not heavier than the lads, sorry, lift heavier than the lads. Don't be getting paranoid. And none of them are bulky. You know, it don't work like that. unless, as I say, you're using performance enhancing drugs, which, you know, testosterone would never be a go-to option for a woman anyway. So yeah, don't be worried about that lift. I mean, you've got to think of it this way as well. Lifting for a full for a full hour is going to burn more calories than cardio. And I know you hear this, and people think it's just a myth that trainers say. But here's the reasoning behind that. Say you go into a set and you go into it with a lot of intensity, you might get your heart rate up to like 170. Then, as that's dropping down, you're still burning calories, that heart rate. It's never going down to resting, because then you go back into another set and it goes up. And if you think about it that way, you're basically doing a full hour of your heart rate never resting. So basically meaning that you're expending more and you're burning more calories. So that's the reason that weight training will burn more than cardio. Because as a rule with cardio, you get to a certain heart rate, which might be just a fat burn one, say 120, 130 beats a minute in my case, and then you stay at that. So really, weight training is like interval training in essence. You're going to a certain point, you're getting your expenditure up, then it's dropping slightly, but it's not going back to rest. So you're still burning loads of calories, and then you're back up again, and then you're back. You know, and it's basically an hour of that. So yeah, I hope that's covered it all. I definitely encourage my girls to eat, and when you see these ones that I put on that have gone from skinny to in good shape, you know, a lot of that, don't get me wrong, it's not done prettily. It's a lot of these guys come with eating disorders, and it's not done in a great way. Sometimes I'll encourage them to go and get McDonald's, as you know, because they've got that bad of an eating disorder about bad food that we need to drill it the other way, and they end up looking 10 times better. So don't be scared to eat. It's definitely not something to be scared of. And if you are, and it makes you feel better, get your expenditure up. You know, push your steps to 15,000 a day, and make sure that, you know, you're allowing yourself to be able to eat. You know, don't just sit on your ass. Yeah, I think I've covered everything there. Cheers.